All right, quiet, please. Go ahead and get out your homework. Quiet, please. Bo, turn around. Hey, let's go. Noah, Jackie. Josh, Jackie. All right, all these people without a mask, put a mask on, please. Now that's you. Josh, that's you. Hold on. All right, any questions on the homework before we grade it? Yes, Lily.
Can I have a pencil?
You know the drill.
Maybe two of them.
Hey or yay!
All right, no push-ups for you, I guess. We're not going to do it because we want to do push-ups. No.
No, I need one.
Push-ups are 25 cents, your choice. 25 push-ups or 25 cents.
25 sit-up.
No, we're not doing sit-ups. They're too
Can I
easy.
get a stapler? Can we do?
All right, quiet, please. Any questions? Yes, number?
Where's the stapler?
Over there. Questions on the homework? Easy, hard, what?
Easy.
Okay. As long as you do is over of, percent over 100, do cross multiplication, then you can find these answers fairly simply. No questions, really? Usually there's at least one. All right. Malachi, mask. All right, here we go. Numero uno is 40%. Where's your homework? Now, rate it. Number two, 266. Number three, 270. Number four, 32%. Get your homework out from the previous day you were here. Number five, 1,300, 1,300. Number six, 1,400, 1,400. Number seven, 5.4. Number eight, 81.6. Where's your homework? No, you didn't do it. Number nine, 83.3%. And number 10, 66.7%. And that's it. Yes.
Never mind.
Yes.
Number 9, I just put 83%.
Number 9. Yeah. Okay. It doesn't say. Oh, no. Instructions say round to the nearest 10th. Okay. I mean, just take off a half point for that. All right. We got a review today. The rest of the chapter is way harder than what we're doing 1, 2, and 3.
That should be illegal.
So the rest of the chapter is way harder. So we want to make sure before we move on to more challenging stuff that we have a solid foundation on percents, decimals, and fractions, conversion between two quizzes tomorrow. So what you're seeing in front of you is the quiz, sort of, kind of, just not as many problems. So your job today is to do two things. One, look over the worksheet, ask questions if there's something you don't know, use this as a guide for the quiz tomorrow. And then number two, if need be, make a resource card for the quiz tomorrow and for the test on whenever that is. I didn't make a calendar specifically for today. This was last class. So if we go to the calendar page, notice we're a week behind here. But we got a chapter 9 mini review today. Quiz, we're on the middle row there. Quiz tomorrow, and then we roll in there. I'm just gonna say 9-4, 9-5, 9-6, 9-7 are way more challenging than 1, 2, or 3. Yes.
What's the date?
Today's the 1st of February, 2021.
Are you sure it's 2020?
If it's 2020, we got problems
2-1-2-1.
because we fell into a time something portal
I would go
and
buy so much toilet paper.
that's right. It's before spring break.
Do you want to know something? I was at the store the other day.
All right, hold on. All right. So here's what we got going on. Some of you do not need this review. Do your worksheet. Others of you need this review to confirm or deny whether or not you have the procedures down, whether or not you understand the formulas. If there are formulas involved, there are. Does the information match what you need to do? Malachi, take those off, please. So we're gonna do these section at a time, I'm not gonna do the examples. I'm gonna do maybe a sample problem. Number 1 through where is your sheet? Get it out. Number 1 through 6, all involve doing what procedure?
Fraction to percentage.
Changing a fraction to a percent. For those of you that have weak grades from the previous test or quiz, now's your chance to really get a 100 on this quiz. The procedure to change a fraction to a percent is, you got 2 options, method 1, method 2. I'll show you both. Ben, give me a fraction, not this one.
1 and 1 and 4.
Just get a regular proper fraction.
Okay, 6/8.
6/8. You have 2 options to convert a fraction to a percent. Method number 1, you set up a proportion, x over 100, cross multiplication, find your answer. That's method number 1. Method number 2 is we take 6/8 and we convert it to a decimal and then move the decimal place twice to the right. I'll do both ways. Cross multiply, 6 times 100 is 600, and that equals 8 times x. Divide both sides by 8, and that turns into, scratch work, I'm gonna do it over here, 600 divided by 8. 8 goes into 6 0 times, 8 goes into 67 times 56. Bring down to 4. 8 goes into 45. So I get 75%. Now, what would happen if I use method number 2? Method number 2, this is usually where people decide that method number 2 is easier. Simply jumps immediately to the chase. What does this literally say?
6/8.
6 divided by 8. That's what this is in strange form. This says 600 divided by 8. This says 6 divided by 8. But remember, the last step here would be to move the decimal place twice to the right. Therefore, it's the same procedure. It literally is the same number of steps. A lot of kids don't like method number 1 because you have to write the proportion and they just feel that's just too much work. Why don't I just immediately jump to a decimal? I'm going to be dividing 6 by 8 in some form or fashion, no matter whether I use method 1 or method 2. Method 1, there's no decimal place to move. So for the kids that are like, I can't ever remember which way to move the decimal place, I always recommend method number 1. You never have to worry about moving a decimal. Method number 2, for the kids that can keep that straight in their head, hey, just move the decimal place twice to the right once we do the math. We do the math, it's 8 into, not 600, but 6 this time. There's my decimal. 8 doesn't go into 6. 8 goes into 67 times 56. Bring down to 0, and we still get 75, except it's 0.75. And that's why this one has that extra step of moving the decimal place twice, but it's the same math. It doesn't change. Method 1, method 2, your choice. Walk me through the first one. Go. You can pick either method. I don't care. I'm going to erase this. All right, e-learners. Sorry, I didn't show you that on the board, but I will show you this as Keegan talks. Go.
All right. You write 7 over 10.
Oh, where are we using? Method 1 or method 2? Which one you want? He wants to use method 1. So we write 7 over 10.
Equals x over 100.
X over 100. Keep talking.
You cross multiply
Tell me what to write.
7 times 100
That's 700,
and x times 10.
and that's 10x. First step done very well. All right, second step. Solve for x.
All right.
Get x by itself. What's attached to it? How's it attached to the inverse?
10 is attached by multiplication.
So we are going to do what to both sides?
Division.
By
10.
by 10. See how easy that is? If you go back to your old skills of solving, All right, so this problem boils down to the tens cancel. This problem boils down into 700 divided by 10. I think you can probably do that in your head, but we'll do it by hand. 10 going to 7, 0 times 10 going to 70. All right, we get 70, remainder is 0, but a lot of people will write the answer as 7, right? But we get a 0, and this second 0 is our issue. We do need to put 10 into 0. 10 goes into 0, 0 times. And the nice thing about this procedure right here is that there's no decimal place to move. So the final answer is 70%, and we're done. All right, let's see who was or was not paying attention. Josh, talk me through it. We're not going to go to the answer. Just talk me through it, what we would do. Method 1, method 2, which one you want? Okay, talk me through it. Then you, and then you. Okay, we cross multiply. We get to an answer. Then what? So let's say you get 35 as an answer. Now what? Or x equals 35 as an answer. Now what? Attach a percent symbol and you're done. That's it. That's the whole ball of wax. All right. So Keegan liked method 1. Josh liked method 1. Anybody a method 2 person out there? All right. Talk me through method 2.
So you just divide 5 by 2.
Other way around.
2 by 5.
Always top divided by bottom. You're going to get a point something something. Then what?
And you add so if it was
Let's say we get 0.25.
25,
It's not the answer for this one.
you move the decimal places to the right,
And
then that'd be your answer.
no, that would give you 25. One more thing.
Have to add
Add a percent symbol. There's method 1, method 2. There's questions 1 through 6. You got it? Tomorrow, I will give you, pick a number between 1 and 2. 2. I will put 2 of those on the test or quiz. All right, 1 will be that, and 1 will be, did I give you guys a Bix number? I did. Number 4, 5 3/4. Guess what? The only thing, no matter whether you use method 1 or method number 2, Jameson, guess what we must do first? Say it. It is a mixed number.
I can't remember.
That other weird thing, right? Improper fraction.
Yeah.
All right. Can you tell me how to turn that into an improper fraction?
You times 5 by 4
And then,
and 4 times 3.
and then 5 times 4 is 20 plus 3 is 23. Then
Then we divide 4.
put the whole thing over 4. That's the improper fraction. 4 times 5 is 20, plus 3 is 23, all over 4. So that written as an improper fraction, why are you not writing? That written as an improper fraction would be 23 over 4. Does everybody see where I got 23 over 4? And then we use method 1, method 2. Malachi, put your mask on and tell me what you do. Which one you want, method 1 or method 2? All right, talk me through it real quick. No, I already did it. It's right up there on the board. And then what? And no, so let's say we got 82 as an answer. Now what? Nope. So you solve for x and let's say you get 82. Now what? Don't do the work. I'm just saying, you said cross multiply. I agree. We cross multiply. We get 82 as an answer. Now what? You just put a percent symbol and you're done. That's it. That's the whole ball of wax right there. Questions 1 through 6 before we move on. All right, we're done with that. Let's look at new stuff. What's it say to do? Questions 7 through, help me out, somebody. 7 through 7 through 7 through 12 tells me to do what? as a, write each percent as a fraction. All right. Step number one for anything. Lily, give me a percent, not this one. Give me a percent, not this one. Make one up. 9%. If we have 9%, to turn that into a fraction, it's the easiest one. You take the number 9 and you put it over, and then you reduce. Can that be reduced? You're done. It's the easiest one. To change a percent to a fraction, you take the number, I guess you can say erase the percent symbol, put it over 100, reduce the fraction. That's it. Nothing more complicated than that. Yes?
Yes.
Who's making a resource card right now for tomorrow? Who's not making a resource card because you're going to remember this?
Ace.
I'm just going to warn you. You're going to get to tomorrow. If you didn't remember it today, why do you think you're going to remember it tomorrow?
Because I reviewed it today.
You reviewed it last week. You've already forgotten it. So my point being is that if you think you're going to forget this, make a resource card right now. In fact, put some of these on the resource card. Like, hey, not only did I give you the questions, I gave you the answers. So do one with all the steps in front of your face on a resource card. That way, tomorrow when you get there and it says 9% and it says write as a fraction, you're like, I forget what to do. It's on your resource card. So all you have to do is refer back. I will put 2 of these on the quiz. Okay, so 2 of the first kind, 2 of the second kind. We're already up to 4 questions. All right, questions on changing a percent to a fraction. All right, flip the page. What's the next thing I'm asking you to do? Questions what?
13 through 18.
What?
Write out the percentage. Use repeating decimals for necessary.
All right, I'm giving you a decimal. I'm asking you to write it as a,
Percent.
okay, once again, we're done with the hard stuff. The stuff I gave you 1 through 6, that's the hardest one because it involves long division. No more long division. The rest of these, they're simple. I'm going to give you a decimal number and ask you to turn it into a percent. You got to remember one rule. Oh, what is it?
Left or right?
Which one?
Left.
See what I mean?
It's right.
So, Bo, you need a resource card because you've already forgotten what to do it or what to do here. So I mean, he knows it's left or right. Everyone remembers it's either left or right. But if you have it on a resource card, make sure you just don't put the question. Put what I'm asking. Converting a decimal to a percent. To convert a decimal to a percent, it's 2 decimal places to the right. Literally, you just move that dot 2 places and you're done. Right? If you miss this tomorrow, shame on you. There's no math involved other than counting 1, 2.
And then you're done.
That's it.
And then you.
Yeah, you got to add a percent symbol. Yeah. So technically it's 2 steps. Move it 2 decimal places and then add a percent symbol. Are you going to forget this tomorrow? Heck yes, you are. Some of you will forget this. I rarely get more than 4 or 5 people get 100%. I will have people have plenty of mistakes on this, even though it's seemingly an easy task. Somebody's going to move it the wrong direction. Somebody literally won't be able to count to 2. They'll move it 1 decimal place.
So you move it over.
Which direction?
Towards the decimal.
No.
Away from the decimal.
No.
Which way then?
Right.
That's towards.
Which way is right?
I know, but I don't want you to think about it moving it towards, just move it to the right.
Which way is the right?
Okay, on your resource card, top. Hold your hands up like this. One of them says L. Which one?
This one.
Put that on the left side, big bold, and circle it. And then put right on the other side and circle it. On your resource card. That way there's no chance, well, almost no chance of screwing this up.
So it looks like that.
And then don't do what Cade's doing. The palms have to be facing out for this to work.
And so it looks like
If
that.
one's facing in or it's opposite, yeah, you can get yourself into a lot of trouble. All right.
Caden, you're
See, you just screwed everyone up, Cade. Thank you.
He's not right.
I did what Mr. C said, and they both didn't either. Neither one of them said L. All right. Questions on this? A decimal to a percent. That's the easiest one. The second easiest one is the next one, which is questions 19 through 24. It's the opposite of that. 19 through 24 say the following. Convert somebody, convert a percent to a decimal on your resource card. Once again, in big bold letters, so you don't screw this up. It's same two steps, except instead of moving it to the right, we're moving it to the left. Shame on you if you can't do this. It's just 2 decimal places. The only issue is that some students lose their heads and they say, well, there's no decimal place. Well, remember, if there's no decimal place, you have to put it. The decimal place right now, 60%, would be after the 0. Now it has a decimal place. Now you can move it. Okay? We move it 2 places to the left. Put it on your resource card. Follow your instructions. Make sure you refer back to it when you take the quiz tomorrow, and you'll get 100. Or of every quiz or test that we take this year, at least this part of the chapter, this is the easiest part. What? Just move things 2 decimal? Yeah, that's it. You're done. By the way, we erased the percent symbol as well.
I mean, you don't want to keep it?
Keep what? No, because then you haven't converted 8% to a decimal.
You erased the decimal.
I did, because I said it wasn't going to. I'm going to allow you to do all. Usually I do a couple of these. I don't want to do any of them for you. I will have some students look at that and tell me point blank, it's already a decimal. I don't need to do anything.
Oh my God.
Okay. The percent symbol means it's a percent, not a decimal. To convert that to a decimal, you still need to move it 2 places to the left, which has a bunch of zeros.
3 zeros.
So you may have to add zeros.
Well, actually, technically, you don't need.
The leading 0, right? The last thing is what we did for homework over the weekend.
Oh God, I hate.
All right. All of these follow this magic proportion, and the magic proportion is over of equals percent over 100. No decimal places you need to move. You just need to solve that proportion. We spent a lot of time on Friday going over this. All right. Who wants to read? All right, Jasmine, read. Stop. Read it again. Stop. Read it again. Where do you think the 71 goes? I was, but I mean, I did it on Friday, very loudly. But I really struggle with students that can't do what we just did. You read a couple words and you stop. If you get to an is and an of, you've read too much. If you get to an is and a percent, you've read too much. You read until you either get to an is, a percent, or an of, and you stop. It's either going to say what number is, or 78 of, or what percent. It's going to, one of those. Or 78 out of. You read until you get to that first magic word, is, of, or percent, and you stop and you put that number where it needs to go. You continue that process. Keep reading, Jasmine. You're done with that. Stop. Do it again. Stop. See what I mean? You read until you get to one of these 3 magic words. You said 71, oh, magic word is. Well, 71 needs to go for is. Then you said 77% magic word. It goes here. Of what? There's no number there. That becomes Jasmine. And then you solve that proportion. Okay. So the very first thing we did, questions 1 through 6, changing a decimal to a percent. And the very last thing we do, called percent problems, all require long division. So I'll give you 2 of those. So I'm going to give you 2 of the first one, long division involved. 2 of the second one, no long division. 2 of the third one, no long division. 2 of the fourth one, no long division. And then 2 of the last one, right? So that's total 10 problems. I'm going to give you 10 problems on the quiz. 4 of them either require you move the decimal place left or right too. There's no work involved. It is literally will take you longer to write the answer than to do the math, because the math just involves moving the decimal place twice. So 10 minutes to do 10 problems. 4 of them you can be done in less than 30 seconds, which leaves you plenty of time to do the other ones. 4 of them will require multiple minutes because they're the ones that, like this one, revolve around long division to solve. So 4 of them might be a minute or 2. 4 of them are ridiculously easy because it's moving a decimal place. The last one simply requires you to write each percent as a fraction, require you to write it over 100. You may or may not have to reduce. You don't have to reduce, and you write the number over 100 and you're done. If you have to reduce, okay, another 30 seconds. I'll give you one where you don't have to reduce and one where you do. But I guess what I'm trying to tell you is you got plenty of time to take this quiz tomorrow. Hey, we got 2 types of students, good ones and bad ones. Your choice is to either do the work, get an A tomorrow, or blow it off and get another F on your test, right? I think you understand where I'm trying to make my point here. I am allowing you to have a whole practice day on what I will quiz you on tomorrow. And we'll get that out of the way and we'll move to the more challenging stuff. The rest of the chapter involves a different formula every single day. They will all be cross multiplication problems for the rest of the chapter. But each day you get a different formula. Yeah. Tomorrow's a quiz, just a quiz. Okay. But it's an easy quiz in the sense of you're looking at it right now in front of your face. I don't usually do a review day before a quiz, but because we're going to be doing cross multiplication for the rest of the chapter, we'll be dealing with decimals, percents, and fractions. We need to make sure this is solidly locked in our brains because we need it for the rest of the chapter as well too. Any questions on anything I reviewed today? Hey, if you wind up with like pretty pictures on your paper because you decide that's more important than doing your work, you're doing it wrong. All right. If you are that kid, there's only a couple of them in this class that is that super genius that already has this memorized.
Pierce.
Then you need to. Pierce is going to have a resource card. I know he will. Right. It usually turns out that the smartest kids are also the kids most likely to have a resource card. I wonder why. If they're the smartest kid, why do they need a resource card? That's why they always get A's, is because they know, hey, I'm not even going to take a chance. The kids that generally get F's, it doesn't matter what I do, what I say, they show up, I didn't bring the resource card. Bring a resource card. Put it in your notebook. Once you're done with it today, as you're doing this review, put it in your notebook so that tomorrow you come to class, you open up, there it is, you're ready to go. Some of you might want to review this again tonight. You're going to get this done today or during student advisement. Some of you may want to review it again tonight at a minimum of just looking it over really quickly. Yep, got that, got that, got that. There's my resource card, my book. I'm ready to go. Questions? All right. We have a solid 25 minutes left to go in class. There is no one that can't do this entire sheet in 25 minutes right now. Your job is to do it, make a resource card. If you want me to look over your resource card and make sure you haven't forgotten anything, I'd love to. I'll be walking around giving anyone help that needs help, but please work. If I have to tell you, get your stuff out, work, you're not doing it correctly. This isn't talk time. This isn't mess around with your neighbor. It's get ready for the quiz time. Yes.
That's the opposite of what you said during the midterm.
What did I say during the midterm?
You said the smartest kids aren't going to need a resource card.
I don't remember saying that. I'll just say I rarely, there's always that one kid, and it's usually the kid that isn't the best student. It's the kid that generally gets some A's, but then they don't get A's. And that's the kid that's just overconfident.
No.
The kids that always get A's, they always have a resource card. It's because they know. I mean, that's the way life. If you were, I mean, I'm trying to think of non-math stuff like in, I don't know, language arts or history class, maybe in science class, when we would have this long list of things I would have to memorize, vocabulary words, right, parts of the body, that sort of thing, dates for whatever things in a history class. I would sit there and I would memorize. And then I would get to the test, and then all of a sudden, you know, your mind goes blank, and then you're like, oh, just relax, I'll figure it out. It'll come to me, and it never comes to you, right? You're in a class that allows you to bring in a card with that stuff written on it. There is no reason for you to have a blank spot in your head.
But
what?
Look what Keegan's doing.
I have no idea what he's doing.
He's making a resource card, I think.
Well, that's a good thing.
Oh my God, that's impossible.
All right, get to work. What's your question? On number
Oh my God.
25.
25. All right,
I forgot how to do it.
read it and stop when you get to one magic word.
I have all of that.
So tell me what to write.
75.
75. There's no 75 up there.
71, I mean.
Okay.
And then you put your bar down. And then you put X. And then you put equals. And then you put 77. And then you put
Now what?
you have to multiply.
Tell me what.
Okay, so 71 would be 7,100.
It would be 7-1 with 2 zeros, right?
And then equals 77x.
So far so good. Now what?
So we have to divide 77 from each side.
So you're basically saying long division is what is the problem. So I'm going to try to explain to you long division again,
Yeah,
but long division is an art, not a science. It's a guessing game of what do I think is a good guess,
Yeah.
and seeing if it's the appropriate guess. But don't get hung up on the fact that I don't know what to guess. You make an educated guess and you adjust from there. So this whole problem revolves around 7,100 divided by 77. 77 is an ugly number. I can't count by 77s, but I can count by,
7.
what number is that really close to?
70.
No, it's pretty far. It's 3 away from 80. It's 7 away from 70. So I'm going to round it to 80 just so I can make a guess. Now remember, this is a guess. It could be the wrong answer, but I'm gonna at least be able to make small adjustments. So I'm thinking about now, not 77, I'm thinking of, and 80 is, if you get rid of the zeros, really, you can count by 8s. This is why it's powerful. So I'm really thinking 8, I'm really thinking 8, right? And I'm thinking, well, 70 or 80 doesn't go into 7, it doesn't go into 71, but it does go into 710. So if you count by 80's fingers, right?
Yeah.
80 times 1,
8,
80,
80,
160,
240,
think of 8s,
350,
320.
320, 400,
Remember, we're trying to get to 710, right? So we're at 400, keep going,
480, 520,
560,
560, 6.
you need a multiplication table in
Yes.
front of your face. Every quiz or test from now on.
Yeah.
If you can't count by 8s, we got bigger issues. And you can't count by 8s.
640,
Right?
70.
I can
8, 16, 24, 32, 40, 48, 56, 64. We're just adding the zeros, so 640. If we go one more, right, we're at 722 big.
Yeah.
So how many fingers?
8.
Multiplication table, same thing. So I know that my guess, it could be wrong.
Yep.
My guess is 8. We won't know whether it's a wrong guess until I do the math. 8 times 7, 56, carry your 5. 8 times 7, 56.
Yeah.
Plus 5, 61. I still don't know if it's a good guess.
Yeah.
I will know if it's a good guess when I do my subtraction. I do my subtraction really quickly. 4, 1 from 0 is 9. What's going on here? Good. All right. If we borrow from that, that becomes a 0. This becomes a 10. 6 from 10 is a 4. 1 from 0 can't do that. Borrow 0. That becomes a 10. 1 from 10 is a 9. 94. Notice I got a number that's bigger than my divisor. So that means that I could actually go up 1
9.
to 9. Okay. 9 times 7, 63. Carry 6. 9 times 7, 63 plus another 6, 69. And now we can see what it really is. Okay. 3 from 10 is a 7. We still get a 1 there. 1. So, okay, now we've got a number that's smaller. That is 0. 77 into 170, count by 80s.
78, 16.
Okay, so 2. 2 times 7, 56. Carry your 5. 2 times 7 is 14. Carry 1. 2 times 7, 14 plus 1 is 15. 160.
Okay.
And then continue. Does it say rounding nearest tenth, I believe?
No.
What does it say?
Solve each problem.
To solve each problem. All right, well, we got to keep going. Well, 2 gave me thing, and then 2 would give me a 154 again. Notice I'm getting not a repeating decimal. Oh, this one just is ugly. All right, rounding nearest tenth, and you'll be fine.
Okay, so that means 6.
What number was this we just did?
This is number 25.
Should be 92.2.
92.2. They did some rounding there because this one doesn't end right there. All right. How many of these are going to put on the test? 2.
Seven.
Just 2. Yeah.
Just 2. There's like 8. But,
Well, that's for practice.
you
what?
can count by 77. You're a math teacher.
I can do it probably to 2, and then I
I
got to
can.
count what's 77 times 8.
Oh, I haven't.
You
got
see what I
that
mean?
part. I know.
Yeah.
Like, I know 77. Remember 9.
Jay, why are you doing absolutely nothing? Put all this stuff away and get going. So for number 9, you got,
21 10, but is this the answer to 2?
tell me the procedure. 21 over 10 as a mixed number, 10 goes to 21.
I'm not really focused on
There's
the actual
1
system.
left over.
Do you want us to do that? Or the actual
Yes.
system? Wait, is it a second?
First.
I'm having trouble with number 12. 21, 20. 2, 1, 2, 1. That's the date. Yep.
62.5%. So 62.5%, we're changing it what, to a fraction?
Yeah.
Okay. Now what to do?
You put the bottom
As,
as 100,
okay.
and then you reduce.
Okay, but yeah, we can't have a decimal. So how do you get rid of a decimal? Multiply top and bottom by how many decimal places?
10.
What?
You multiply
How many decimal places? So that's why we're gonna multiply top and bottom by. Right? If it was 2 decimal places, we multiply top and bottom by.
100.
There you go. Most people don't even think about it as multiplying. They just say, oh, I got to move this one place. I got to move this one. What they're really doing is multiplying by 10 or 100,000, whatever. Yeah,
I have a question for number 26.
26.
I can
All right. Tell me the match proportion.
X over 64 equals 80 over 100. I mean 180 over.
X over 64 equals, perfect. All right, so this is just cross multiplication.
Yeah,
I mean, it's not pretty.
I got my answer already, but it doesn't make sense. I got 50.
So this one involves a little bit of ugly multiplication and a little bit of ugly division, but division is by 100, so the division actually is the easy part. So I bet your mistake is 180 times 64. Let's see what you got. So 180 times 64, 4 times 0, 4 times 8, here are your 3, 4 times 1, plus 3, you got 720. Okay, bring down a 0, 6 times 0 is 0, 6 times 8, here 4, 6 times 1, plus 4, did you get 10,800? There's your mistake. Hey, I'm still waiting for you to see you do some work. You got this? Oh, yeah. You just remove it 2 places to the left. That's it. So move it 2 places to the left, even though it looks weird, it's still gonna go in that direction. So that one you have to add some zeros. All right, e-learners, I'm letting you hang here for a second. Any questions? Anyone live? No one's live. Quiz tomorrow. I'll post it by 7:30 in the morning. It'll be a 10-minute quiz. Take the quiz, and then normal class right after that.
What is normal class
What do you mean, what does it count as?
What are we doing? The same thing as this?
I forget what we're doing.